I still remember that evening like it's carved into the walls of my memory. The rain had started early, brushing softly against the windows, filling the silence that hung between us like a ghost neither of us wanted to acknowledge. We were sitting across from each other at the dining table, a table that had once been filled with laughter, teasing, and plans about the future. Now, it was just two strangers eating dinner out of obligation. She scrolled through her phone, half smiling at something I couldn't see, while I tried to find the right words to break the suffocating quiet. I asked her if something was wrong, if she was okay, and that's when she looked up, not with tears or sadness, but with that cold smirk that I never thought I'd see from her. "You know," she said, resting her chin on her hand, "sometimes I regret marrying you." The words fell like a slow knife, not loud, not sharp, just quiet enough to pierce. For a moment, I couldn't move. My fork froze halfway to my mouth, and all I could hear was the rhythmic tapping of rain. I wanted to ask her why, I wanted to understand, but she didn't stop there. "You're comfortable," she added, as if that was a crime. "You don't challenge me, you don't excite me anymore. You're just there." And then she laughed, not in anger, but in mockery. That laugh destroyed whatever love had been left struggling to survive inside me. I didn't react immediately. I just stared at her, the woman I had once believed would be my forever. I looked at her eyes, once full of affection, now reflecting nothing but apathy and a strange kind of arrogance. I remembered the early days when she used to wait for me outside my office just to have lunch together, when her messages used to fill my phone with warmth, when she used to brag about how lucky she was to have me. Now, all that felt like a cruel dream. I asked her quietly, "When did I stop being enough for you?" She shrugged, still half smiling. "Maybe when I realized that you'll always be the same, predictable, safe, boring. Life's too short for that, don't you think?" Her tone was casual, like she was discussing the weather. My chest felt tight. For years, I had worked hard, sacrificed my own dreams to build a stable life for us, not perfect, but peaceful. I had thought love meant giving someone your best without keeping score. But in her eyes, my consistency had become dullness, my loyalty had become a flaw. She kept talking, complaining about the small apartment, the routine, the way I didn't dress like her friends' husbands or take her to places where she could feel alive. Every word she spoke peeled away another layer of illusion I had built around her. I realized then that she hadn't just fallen out of love, she had grown contemptuous of the life we built together. She wasn't angry at me for changing. She was angry at me for not becoming someone I never was. And as that realization settled in, something inside me finally went quiet, not in defeat, but in clarity. The kind of clarity that comes when you realize you've been fighting for a ghost that no longer wants to be saved. I took a deep breath and looked around the house, the framed photos, the couch we picked together, the small crack in the wall we always said we'd fix but never did. All of it felt meaningless now. "You know what?" I said, standing up slowly. "You're right." She raised an eyebrow, a little surprised. "Right about what?" she asked, almost amused. I looked her straight in the eyes. "You regret marrying me? Then let's fix that regret." For the first time that night, she stopped smiling. There was a flicker of confusion, maybe even fear, in her expression. I walked to the bedroom, pulled out a small folder from the drawer, our marriage certificate, and placed it gently on the table between us. "It's over," I said quietly. "No shouting. No drama. Just the truth. I won't beg you to stay. I won't ask you to explain. You've already said enough." She tried to speak, to backtrack, to soften her words, but I had already made peace with my decision. The man she mocked for being predictable was now doing the one thing she never expected, walking away. I packed a small bag that night, took my car keys, and stepped into the cold rain. Each drop felt like a baptism, washing away years of emotional exhaustion. Behind me, through the half-open door, I could hear her voice, not apologetic, but panicked. But it was too late. I didn't hate her. I didn't even resent her. I simply didn't recognize her anymore. Sometimes endings don't come with shouting matches or broken plates, sometimes they come in silence, with a man closing the door on a love that stopped being love long ago. And as I drove away, for the first time in years, I felt something close to peace. Because when someone mocks the very bond you built your life around, the most powerful thing you can do is end it on the spot. Did this story touch your heart? Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so more hearts can feel these stories too.